What is competency, proficiency-based grading? The goal is that we as teachers know that the students know and understand key concepts. In the past, we've assigned tasks. Then we give points for completing the work. Here's what happens. Students spend a lot of time completing the task. Regardless of the end goal, their goal was to complete the assignment. Sometimes they get good grades but don't understand the concepts. Sometimes they spend a lot of time doing the assignment. What would it look like if we gave the concept a value to learn? Would it be like the gold rush? Would students long to understand the concept rather than just complete an assignment?
Is it recording? I think it's recording. Okay. So, all right. Tell me what you know about parallel and perpendicular lines.
Parallel lines are when it's the same thing. So if you have 3/4 plus 5 and
Let's make that
3/4 take away 10, that's a parallel line because you just need the first two numbers to be the same for it to be parallel.
Perfect. So if we were given a line in slope-intercept form, we just need the slope to be the same. That's exactly right. Perfect. Okay, so what about perpendicular lines?
Perpendicular lines are the opposite thing. So if you had y equals 3/4 x plus 5, and then y equals -4/3 x take away 10, that would be a perpendicular line because they are completely opposite switch.
That is exactly right. Okay, so if we were going to graph this scenario right here. So I put on a graph these two lines, and I'm going to make my parallel lines yellow. Okay, so we'll say this one is 3/4 x plus 5. What will this one look like? Y equals 3/4 x minus 10.
It would look like the same thing.
The same thing? What do you mean? Like this? Just a line?
No, it would be going the same way and everything. It would be the exact same because that's how a parallel line is.
Perfect.
It's the same.
The slopes are the same, exactly. They move exactly the same way. So they're going to move up 3/4, both of them, the same way. Okay, I can't move that one down. Now let's try and make a perpendicular line that's going to be green. So this perpendicular line that's green, how should I put this one on the graph?
A perpendicular line would be the exact opposite. It would make a 90-degree angle with the parallel
Perfect.
lines.
Perfect. So if I'm going to make a perpendicular line, it makes a 90-degree angle. That's exactly right. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you to apply what you've learned. So for instance, if I was going to give you 2 points on the graph, and there's a point 2, 3, and there's another point 5, 5. And I want you to find the slope of between these 2 points, of the line created between these 2 points, and then I want you to give me a perpendicular slope and a parallel slope. So
Okay.
can we do that?
Yes.
Okay.
So how I would start to solve it would be to put x1 under 2 and y1 under 3.
Okay.
And then under 5 and 5, the first one I'd put x2,
Perfect.
and the second one I'd put y2.
Perfect.
And then I'd write them out like 5
Okay.
take away 1, well 2, 5 take away 2.
5 take away 2.
And then line,
Okay.
and then 5 take away 3,
Okay.
and then I take away, which would get me 3/2.
Perfect. So 3/2. Okay, so now for the answer. What would be a slope that's parallel to these 2 points?
The same thing, 3/2.
Perfect. What about one that's perpendicular?
Perpendicular would be -2/3.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you so much, Yul. That was awesome math, by the way. Okay, Caleb, so we're going to do a proficiency test. I'm going to go through and I'll pull up one of the skills that we didn't get credit for. You show me how to do it, walk me through it, and I can go back and help you to overcome those assignments, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so let me share my screen so that you can see. Say hi to yourself.
Hello.
Okay, so the first thing that we need to go over, and I'm going to pull up my calculator, and so that we can use, if you have anything that you need calculated, we can use the calculator for that as well. Okay, so let me pull up the first question. I'm going to pause this for just. Okay, so the first thing I want you to show me is how to find the slope between these 2 points. So here's a point. It's the point 2, 5. And there's another point, and the other point is the point 3, 2. Okay, so how do I find the slope between these 2 points?
So we would make 2 and 5 x1 and y1, and then for 3, 2 we would make x2 and y2.
Perfect. And then what?
And then we would minus y2. It has to be in this order: y2 minus y1. So that would be 2 minus 5.
Okay.
Let's see, it's 2 minus 5. That'd be -3.
Perfect.
We're going to put -3 on top of a fraction.
Okay.
And then we got x2 minus x1, which is 3 minus 2, which is 1. So 1 will go in the bottom.
Okay.
And then basically to simplify it, that would be -3.
Awesome. You're so awesome. Okay. So now the other thing that we need to do with that is decide if this was on a graph. So this was the slope that you just solved for. What would that kind of look like? Or what do you think? Could we put that on a graph, and what would that look like?
That would look like m equals -3x plus y.
Okay, so if I want to create an equation though, I want to create an equation so I can graph this. So I want to create this equation, but with this information, right? So I have this. But now I figured out m, so how can I write an equation with this information? How could I do that?
Right. We know m is -3,
Exactly.
and
How can I figure out though what this b is? What do you think?
by subtracting 3/6.
Well, could I plug one of these in for x and y? Okay. So walk me through that. Which one's y?
Y could be 5,
Okay.
5 or 2.
So 5 equals, okay, so you're right. It could be either, but let's do 5 because I started writing it. And what's x?
X could be 2.
2 because I used that 5. And now what? How do I solve this equation for b?
Well, we would take out the 3 and 2 in that section.
Okay, so what is -3 times 2?
3 times 2 is -6. So then we would take it out with +6.
Perfect.
And then we do the same thing to the other side, which would be -1. So we would have -1 equals b. So b will equal -1.
Okay, almost, but look, if I'm going to put 6 right here, look at that one more time. What is that? Is that -1?
No, pause it. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
11, perfect. Okay, so now I have this. So can I create the equation? Can I create an equation now, like kind of like this, but using this information?
Yes.
Okay, what would that look like?
5 equals.
Well, no, I mean I just want the general equation. Sorry.
Oh. Well, y equals m, which is -3.
Okay.
X plus b.
And what's b?
B is 11.
Okay, so how would I graph this line right here?
We would do x. So we see that x is. So we would go back 3 on the the x-axis.
So
And then all we. Right?
well, you can use these 2 points. Is that one of the points? Or we can use this equation. But what does this equation mean?